What do you do when you or a family member has been injured in a trucking accident? Well, trucking accidents can be life-altering or even fatal. And the injuries, even in non-fatal accidents, include things like medical expenses, lost wages, lack of quality of life, and pain and suffering. And these can all be very difficult on victims and their families. I'm Tom Goolsby, and I have represented folks in North Carolina on exactly these types of accidents and injuries for 25 plus years. What are the common causes of trucking accidents? Well, the majority of people that are fatally injured and hurt in commercial truck accidents are the ones traveling in passenger vehicles. Why? Well, tractor trailers loaded with cargo weigh nearly 20 times more than most cars, and trucks require 20% to 40% greater distance in order to come to a complete stop. Slippery road conditions, bad brakes, bad maintenance can make this even worse. Also, trucks have a higher center of gravity, which makes them more susceptible to rollover incidents. Now, when a trucker causes an accident, it's usually due to four things. The first is non-performance. That means the driver's experiencing a physical impairment, falling asleep, or suffering a heart attack and can't perform his or her duties properly. Next is recognition. That's when the driver's distracted or demonstrates a failure to observe or doesn't recognize or respond to road conditions. The next is decision. The driver underestimates the speed of an approaching vehicle, doesn't allow adequate braking distance from the vehicle that he or she is following, and thereby makes a poor decision, or maybe pulls out in front of someone thinking they have plenty of time. Performance is also the last one, but one that we see over and over again, and that is the driver fails to perform the control of his vehicle in a proper manner. He overcompensates on a turn, as an example, not performing his duties. Now, one or more of these reasons can lead to an accident, and we see that all the time. Now, the good news is there are a number of safety standards that are placed on tractor-trailer drivers both by state and federal law, such as their federal limitations to prevent big rig operators from driving more than 11 hours in a day. Sounds like a lot of driving in a day, but if you drive over that amount, that can clearly be used against you. Also, you can't drive more than 77 hours in a period of 7 days. Trucking companies and their drivers are subject to federal safety standards, inspections, and enforcement. And here are just a few of those regulations. First, drivers must acquire and maintain a commercial driver's license, a CDL, and that requires enhanced training and testing. They must also maintain a minimum of $750,000 in accident liability insurance coverage. That's some good news, because in these terrible accidents, usually there is going to be a large insurance policy from which we can collect. Also, drivers must follow a clearly defined schedule for logging their activities, as well as safety and maintenance schedules. And then lastly, transport companies are legally required to abide by and enforce these regulations. There's also something called an electronic logging device, and the good news is that as of December 18, 2017, all trucking companies are required to install those in North Carolina. This data that's collected documents critical things such as driving time and driver status, and it's recorded, and the data is transferred and stored, and that's done seamlessly. Now, this ELD data can be used as evidence in accidents to determine liability and help us better recreate the circumstances of the accident. Many people also know about black boxes. Now, these are devices for recording and documenting activity on board aircraft, but many manufacturers of cars, trucks, buses, and other vehicles install these event data recorders in their vehicles. However, black boxes aren't legally required for all commercial vehicles, but they are in a number of them. And when they are available, they can give us a number of interesting evidence that we can use in the course of putting your case together, such as the speed of travel at the time of the collision. Also, when the vehicle accelerated, when the brakes were used, daily and weekly driving activity, and the use of cruise control. Now, insurance carriers and trucking companies are something that we look at the very beginning of any case. Commercial trucking companies and their drivers have high-value insurance policies. What does this mean? Well, it means that, of course, there can be a lot of money to pay out your damages, but also there are experienced insurance adjusters and attorneys to help them minimize their financial responsibilities. And the opposing counsel are typically seasoned, tough, smart, and effective lawyers. The good news is that here at the Goolsby Law Firm, we enjoy the opportunity to battle these well-funded big firm attorneys. The stakes are high, and we fight hard to combat their teams with our own experts, our own cutting-edge research, and the strategies that we've developed over decades of litigation. So don't be taken advantage of by trucking companies and their insurance carriers. Hiring an experienced trucking and transport accident lawyer will help you protect and enforce your rights. My name is Tom Goolsby, and you can call me anytime at 910-262-7401. You can call or text me at that number or check out my website, goolsbylaw.com. I've been practicing law here in North Carolina for over 25 years. I'm a former North Carolina senator, currently have a perfect 10 rating at AVO, been a member of the $1 Million Advocates Forum for over 20 years, and many other awards. I do want to caution you that, of course, any attorney's awards don't guarantee performance, but they can sure tell you of that attorney's experience, what they've been through in the past, and how much they care about their clients from their ratings. And I do appreciate you tuning in. If you have questions, problems, concerns, all you have to do is pick up the phone and give me a call. I look forward to speaking with you. God bless.